All right, we have a busy day. A lot of things are happening. First of all, we're going back to Eve because I think I can fix the problem. uh, Anybody who doesn't recall what the problem is I went out there with a rover arm. Let's see, Gilly relay. Landed at Gilly. There we go. I came out to Gilly with a ship with a big robotic arm on it to complete a contract to scan a thing on Gilly. Yes, I have MechJeb installed. don't don't hate me. And then I landed here and I said scan the ridgeline, and it said you don't have enough electrical power. I never bothered to check how much power you needed to get this thing going. So I, oh, you can see under the ground there. So I have an idea. I have in orbit several ships, one of which has enough electrical power on. I don't remember which one it is offhand, but I have simple logistics installed. Let's see, this thing has 55, so it's definitely not him. Let's see, how about you? And if I have to land two ships, I'll land two. But what I want to do is I want to land one of these guys. Yeah, this guy, see the relay, I definitely want to put him back in orbit when the time comes. But he has this 200 electrical power thing on him. So, if... And sadly, Gilly is rotating here, and it's going to be in darkness pretty soon. So I think maybe I'll wait until local morning. Didn't quite realize how. Better have Kerbal alarm clock up because. Hey, you know what? I'm not going to wait till local morning. Because Gilly doesn't rotate as quickly. Well, that sucks. There we go. Gilly doesn't rotate quite as quickly as it does in the stock game. So I was kind of expecting to get there quicker, but I'm not. So also I changed all my settings here because I was playing on a smaller monitor. And now everything looks wrong. So give me a moment. I should probably make a set of configs. So that there we go. So that things are the way I like them. But I'll worry about that someday later. Okay, so we got this. It's a half a second burn. So I'm actually going to thrust limit this guy a little bit. So I have a little more control just in case I am out of communication with Kerbin when the time comes. Looks like I'm not, which is nice. And that's fine. Actually going to go prograde just a little bit. One thing with my settings. I remember having this problem before. I had to set the nav ball exactly far enough that I could reach this X. Okay, so close that. Oh, helps if you accept the settings instead of just closing. There we go. Accept. Resume and close that. Okay. A little bit north, probably. Actually, I think it's going to be anti-normal because he's going backwards. There we go. As long as we land somewhere inside this crater here, we should be within the 2 kilometers that we need to be to get there. So let's go ahead and hit F5. And I don't know if this is going to work. I should probably mention that. Simple Logistics will allow his power to get used by the other guy. I don't know if it'll make it count for the other guy. So we're going to find out. It's actually a little bit farther than I thought he would be. But I still think we'll be fine. And if not, we'll have no trouble getting close to it. Oh yeah, we'll be within 2 kilometers. Within half a kilometer. Nice. Oh, gotta love Gilly. Even in this modded system, Gilly is easy mode. Oh, that could be bad. Let's just let him slide down the hill. Didn't realize we were on this massive hill here. As soon as we get done sliding, we'll turn the computer off. I don't think we can... Yeah, we can't retract the solar panels. Did I mention how much you gotta love Gilly? I'm terrified that I'm going to break the solar panels if I just turn off the computer, but I think I am going to just turn it off. But ideally slide to a halt here. Come on. Are you seriously sliding it? There we go. Okay, so now we should be able to switch to you guys. Oh wait, switch back to him. Cannot switch vessels while about to crash. Nice. Okay. I don't know how to do simple logistics. Let's see. There's like connect to network or something like that. Plug into network. There we go. I'll just assume that we're now plugged into the network. Then we need to plug you into the network. Now he just got his electric charge back. So now if we try to do this... Come on, stop bouncing along the surface. That's one of the more annoying things about... Nope, it still says it's 115. So even though we have enough electric charge to, we don't have enough, but we have 400 or 350 available to us, but we don't have the amount here. And the other problem is nobody has any inventory. We don't have any way to take the battery off that thing and bring it over here and slap it on here. Nobody has a drill or anything. So we literally cannot scan this originally. Which I'm going to say is annoying. So we're going to get our relay back into orbit here. Doesn't really matter what the orbit looks like. So long as it is an orbit. There we go. And then we'll do the rest of the mission up here because we do have more stuff to do other than scanning that ridgeline. We'll just either have to come back. I have a Kerbin to Eve window coming up. I didn't want to come back to Eve though. I wanted to move on, but what are you gonna do? So, but we'll do the rest of the Explorer Eve contract. Maybe we'll get another Explorer here and. There we go. Now he's in orbit. We don't worry about him anymore. Okay, we're going to switch to him. We're going to bring up our contract. Okay, we need to do the ridgeline, which we're just going to say no, or we'll fail that if I have to. We can, let's see, position satellite, that's coming up later. Explore Gilly, this is what we want. We want to transfer crew between vessels, rendezvous two vessels, and go on an orbital spacewalk. Okay, all that's going to happen in orbit with one of these ships here. Gilly Relay? No, Gilly 2. We're going to set him as our target. He's orbiting this way. So we're going to take off to the sun. Towards the sun, which I think is east. This way? Nope, opposite. Make sure our orbit doesn't get crazily out ahead of us here. As soon as our apoapsis and our ascending node meet, or right after that, we are going to do this. What's our ascending node? 19. We're going to do this and this to get kind of close to him over here. Yeah, that should work. And then we'll get a connection there. Yeah, we have enough. We have enough fuel in this guy to do all this, and also. Let me warp like this. And also land back down. So we could, if we have to, do that. Now, one thing we can't do is dock, which is annoying, because I don't think I brought a screwdriver with the other with the other ship either, even though I brought extra docking boards on that other ship. Oops. How do you kick people off your chat? Because I actually got a spammer. Oh, he's gone already. Okay, let's go a little bit farther just to get those to touch, and then we can add a maneuver here to bring these guys together. That's good enough. And let's go. Kind of an ugly ship, but what are you going to do? We can get our orbital spacewalk too if we want to. Might as well make Sigster hop out really quick. There's part of our contract. What else did we get? World's first milestone. We have performed a spacewalk at orbit of Gilly. Yay! Okay. Okay, now we need to actually get this close. So just tap in the gas. That's good enough. go into target mode and actually retrograde to target, and we're going to warp there. Yeah, rendezvous and transfer crew, and then I was expecting to get a look at all the stuff ahead of us here. It's weird that that's my target. Are we controlling from the wrong place? Control from here. Wow, I got so much stuff on here. Control from here. There we go. Oh, it is going away from us. That's weird. How did we get past him? Is this thing? Yeah, it is thrust limited. That's what I thought. There we go. I don't know exactly how I passed him. I think I actually did the warp 2 wrong. I did the warp 2 to the other side. I think that's what I did wrong. Luckily, Gilly is quite forgiving. Yeah, this should definitely be close enough for the Explore Gilly contract. Synchronized free falling. Yay. Okay. I guess Bill should be the one to do it. Maybe I was smart and I put a container on this thing. Looks like I did not, though. Okay, we have now transferred crew and completed the Explore Gilly contract. Nice. Okay, back to the Space Center. Because now we're probably going to get an Explore Gilly to dock 2 vessels, and then we cannot do that. Explore Gilly, dock 2 vessels on or around Gilly. Let's go ahead and accept it. Science data from the surface of Gilly. We have that just sitting on our ship. And okay, so we're going to have to send either a screwdriver out there, or an actual ship with stuff on it, and I'll have to decide that next time. Okay, let's do the fun part of the mission here. Kerbin looks weird, but I'm not going to complain. We've got Duna Sats 1, and we are going to. This is why I installed MechJeb. I installed MechJeb not to use MechJeb, but to use gravity turn. And we're going to get these guys into orbit with the gravity turn mod. Here's our Duna Sats. It's got 3 satellites in there, which is nice. Gravity turn, it already knows what the best guess is because I've launched this thing several times. And we are going to launch it now. And I, of course, didn't set my staging right, but it doesn't seem to have hurt anything. Anyway, this is a pretty simple ship from the start here. We've got a mainsail down here. We've got the fuel feeding into the mainsail through these decouplers. Then we've got a skipper here for the insertion into orbit phase, and then the rest of this sends him off to Duna, presumably. I only tested this thing until he got into orbit. I didn't verify anything else because, you know, why would I do that? But anyway, this thing isn't super optimized. If you see here, gravity turn's gonna start slowing down in a second, which means there's gonna still be fuel in the side tanks when the solids run out, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but it's less than optimal. Um, but hey, not a big deal. Especially because we obviously have more oomph than we need with a mainsail on the bottom here. His total thrust to weight is probably getting close to 2 now. I do not like how the gravity turn mod kicks the fairings away so early. That might be a Kerbin thing. I don't know if it's pressure or if it's height that it does it. But I've noticed a lot of times the things launching here get red marks on them. Like they start glowing red hot, which I think shouldn't happen. But what are you going to do? We're well past max Q, which is nice. There goes that. Now here's where gravity turn starts to get a little scared because our time here is going down. So it tilts way up to fix this. Yet another thing that's suboptimal about this. But it's not too bad. This thing only has a TWR of well, it's over 1 now. So I don't know what the problem is. What's your problem? But anyway, yeah, we got 3 satellite contracts here. We got, let's see, all this junk. We got 1 satellite, 2 satellites, and 3 satellites. 2 in orbit of Gilly, I'm sorry, of Ike, and 1 in orbit of Duna. We'll also get some resource scanning done. I don't know if we'll actually do the resource scanning. Probably on Ike we will, but I don't know if I'm ever going to do anything with resources. Here. So you notice we're at 4,600 almost, and we're almost in orbit. When I tested this thing, it actually got into orbit with just over 48, which is pretty awesome. Here, we're going to run out of fuel. Yeah, we have 32 meters per second left in this tank, and we have a 78 meter per second burn in order to do that. And this is literally the only reason I have a mech jib installed, is it made a nice maneuver node here. So let's go ahead and get a solar panel out, just so we don't run out of electric charge. Not that I expect we will. I don't know why, but mech jib won't stage there. I don't know if that's a mech jib thing or what. I don't know anything about mech jib. I don't know how to make it work. I only have it installed for that maneuver node. I would even do the maneuver node myself if I could. Well, not could, but if MechJeb wasn't already installed, it's going to do it for me. Come on, there we go. Extend that solar panel. Now these solar panels are staying in because these guys are kind of in all the trusses there, and I don't want to screw anything up. But yeah, that's it. We're ready to go to Duna, and look at that, 4834. That's better than what the Delta V map says for Kerbin orbit, which is pretty nice. I will definitely take that when I don't have to launch things myself. Anyway, we need to go to Duna, which apparently is in 7 days. If we look here, a transfer to Duna is in 7 days. Let's go ahead and add a maneuver node. 1822. We've got 3444, so that should be perfectly fine. I want this gone. Okay, there we go. So let's get aimed at it. We should probably also rotate so that the solar panels are always in the sun. Except for when we're in the shadow, which of course is going to happen here on our ejection to Duna. And you know what? I have MechJeb installed. It would be a shame to not use it. I don't know if I'm going to keep it installed. Look at all this junk it does. I don't even know how to do it. Rendezvous autopilot, I guess? Rendezvous? No, not rendezvous. Maneuver planner? Editor? Execute next node. It's in 7 days. We got nothing else going on in 7 days. Let's go ahead and do that. Are you going to time warp? There we go. Now, is it going to know that I can time warp faster? Apparently it does. It's really fun watching the gameplay itself, isn't it? Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna keep MechJeb. Uh, I mean, I might keep it installed just for the gravity turn thing, but definitely not gonna utilize it in this way very much. It just doesn't feel right. Would you like to burn now, please? There you go. It seems to think it knows better than the game, but maybe it does. I don't know. And of course, when this burn is done, we can plan and maybe even do the mid-course correction. So we get a nice encounter with Ike and everything like that. But when that is done, I'm actually going to be bidding you adieu because I don't have anything else to do in the game. So this is going to be a little short run here. But what are you going to do? Because I was hoping that the Eve thing would work, so I didn't really have anything else planned. Not that that would have taken any more time or anything, but you know, what are you gonna do? They could also probably set these things up better than they are. Like these things go together. This guy and this go together, and then these two guys go together, and this doesn't need to be staged anymore. Oh, you apparently can't turn off staging. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I think after this, after it does this node, I'm going to do the rest on my own because I do not like click button win game sort of mechanics like this. When for getting into orbit's one thing, like launching to orbit, because that's mundane. But all the rest of the stuff, this is actually the game, and I don't know why people would do that. I know that people play for different reasons, but the reason I play is to fly spaceships. Okay, are you done yet? Are you done yet? You are done. Okay, so apparently there is now a 10 meter per second node in 271 days. So we can do that because it's before the next window. So let's go ahead and close this and pretend it's not there. And check out what our mid-course correction actually does, because I might want to change it. It does not give us an encounter with Duna. Yeah, we definitely don't have an encounter with Duna. So we want to change this. Let's go ahead and just delete it. We're very close to an encounter with Duna. I think if we go to the ascending node here and look at this, if we speed up a bit, maybe radial out a bit, maybe speed up a little bit more. Okay, we have an encounter. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. It's 100 meters per second. I think that's fair. Okay, we want that to be gone. Okay, now let's bring out the more fine-tuned approach here. How are we doing as far as these are concerned? If we're going to do anything, we're going to radial out more. So let's go ahead and Yeah, radial out brings us closer, so let's do that. Wow, now our radial out is much more. So maybe we should radial in a little bit and prograde a little bit. There we go. What I'm doing is I'm making these roughly the same, because then we're actually burning less if you do that. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and normal it down. That's pretty good too. Set this as our target. Where is he? Of course he's in completely the wrong spot. Not that that's a big deal. We got plenty of fuel to slow down and everything. But let's go ahead and... Wrong way. There we go. That's about right. And just for the fun of it, let's see how much this is going to take to slow down. How much is it going to take to get into orbit? Maneuver 2, I guess. Negative 1,000. So yeah, we've got 165 here and 1,000 here. The transfer station is going to get us in orbit, which is exactly what I wanted, and it's more than I really need. So I'm happy with that. I'm not even going to keep this second node here. Let's go ahead and delete it. And let's just do the first node. And I guess we can do that one before we bid you adieu. Let's go ahead and get in the sun here. Good enough. Yeah, let's hit F5 and warp right to it and see what happens here. I'm always worried about these time warps, but they seem to be perfectly fine. Although for some reason it stopped. Okay, we got a minute here for a 9-second burn. And not exactly where I expected it to be, so let's okay. It's anti-normal here. Let's go ahead and just turn this off. We just want to bring this down. Yeah, that's good right there. And then right here, we'll just set up the node so that we don't forget. We want to get in orbit. Eventually we'll get an actual encounter, but the game doesn't always like to show you those encounters. There we go. We'll do something like that. 1050, boom, we'll get an encounter, yada yada yada. No big deal. Let's head back to the Space Center. Just see if any other contracts came up while we were fiddling around. Plant a flag on Gilly. We are going to be landing back on Gilly. Might as well accept that. Surface of Eve. We're not dealing with the surface of Eve. Basalt Formation. Is that on Eve? Yep. Pancake Dome is also on Eve. And test the Wolf on the launch site. We're not doing those kind of garbage anymore. Okay. That's it. That's all we got going right now. We do have 800 stuff, but we don't really have that much to buy. I'm not buying any plane parts until we're completely out of other stuff. I guess I could buy this. Really, I think I'm going to save up for this. This would be nice to have on way out there missions. So that's where we're going to leave it. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I definitely enjoyed playing it. I'm Superfluous J, and I will, as always, talk at you later.